The issue of gun violence isn't going away because there are millions of guns in circulation nationwide.
Millions of guns.
Millions of guns.
Millions of guns.
Millions of guns. It is a problem that all police departments are facing.
Live your truth, man. Live your truth in the booth. Tai booth. He is the truth. Live yours. Give more. I've been a mess. Live the truth. If you a mess, live your truth. Hey. Hey. Feeling it, man. Y'all know what it is. This is Live Your Truth with Taibu Muad'Dib. I'm going to get into some deep stuff tonight. Look, from what I'm seeing, it does not look good for if you can call it a police force, you can call it whatever you want to, but I think we're starting to see what the whole thing was about when it came down to policing in America. I mean, I'm just not seeing the same narrative. Now look, European cops have killed men before because they were messing with their wives or their daughters, whatever. I mean, but this is one individual, right? And it's like you have this gang mentality. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then here's the thing. No matter how much I look at this, straight up, the justice systems, their gatekeepers are men and women in badges. They're really the gatekeepers to justice for any of us, right? So unless I'm living in just a false reality, the police officers aren't meant to be Judge Dredd. If you haven't seen this futuristic sci-fi flick, Judge Dredd, it's about things being so bad in our societies and our communities that the judges are empowered to actually arrest, try, and convict citizens right there on the spot. I saw this movie decades ago. And the cartoons, the cartoon commercial, like the comic book has been out for a while. So if you didn't know about this deal, this Judge Dredd deal, I'm telling you right now, that's where it's at. Judge Dredd is a futuristic cop that is supposed to be taking care of business in a different scenario. I'm not good with the mics and the systems and stuff. I'm not good with them, so I'm not getting my sound effects, but I'll get them on here. Killer cops. Okay, you can stream this narrative however you want to at this point, right? Citizens on patrol. Nowadays, because African people are, so brainwashed, the slave mentality is completely taken over. To us pretty much anything. And the Europeans have, citizens on patrol, like that's a benevolent thing. But when it started, it was European citizens on patrol to protect them from freed African slaves. Right? Now, Europeans in America, for some reason, have always had a low opinion of African people. brute, criminal, Denzian, just the bottom of the barrel. Even though Europeans during slavery, before slavery, and afterward, are cold-blooded, right? Always plotting and scheming, murdering, raping, you know. It's like it's almost as if the European found the perfect culture of people to vicariously place their worst and most base thoughts and feelings onto, so they can be who they say we are and blame it all on us. That was a little deep for a lot of you, but I mean, when you become conscious and you begin reading my material, you'll get it. All right. But be that as it may, I kicked this program off. A lot of people knew what was coming down the pike. Generally speaking, I'm very, very meticulous about bringing folks on. But now I believe the content speaketh for itself. So I'm not doing as much inviting right before the show. I'm trying to really see where y'all folks is at. If y'all really riding for the movement that I'm trying to build here. So I'm posting these things, doing these things, and even though they're on there, like Facebook, what would they do? They would restrict my page for 24 hours. But for what? For reposting what's already out there. And it's now that I find out, that a lot of y'all really haven't subscribed. A lot of y'all, when I say I'm going live, you see it for a second. You like, oh, I can't get on this page. He's restricted. But you forget I'm streaming live on Instagram and on YouTube as well. Right? So you don't bother to make the attempt to get over there. Look, I'm going to be YouTubing down the line, just strictly on YouTube. I kept this open because I had intended to change the platform anyway, and be more universal with my coaching and speaking. Now, when you look at how devastating it's been to be African in America already, you paint the picture like, okay, African cops, right, can't be trusted. Now, what does this do? What does this do when African cops can't be trusted? What situation does that put us in? Okay. The narrative about African people being stupid, dumb, slow. So that goes, right? I don't care how you toss it around. There it is. All right. So everybody has to be thinking, as far as the law is concerned, like, these guys, what were these guys thinking? They have to be so stupid. Man, you're gonna go kidnap and kill a man just because he was screwing your partner on the job's wife. Like, you have to think about these things. You have to think about them. And the more I think about it, I tend to agree. But here's the thing. Even if they're stupid, they're still cops. Even if they're stupid, they're not the only ones. They're not the only ones. Now, when you got the guy Chauvin, right, the man responsible, primarily responsible for killing George Floyd, he, you know, you don't get that sense that the other cops were like, he's stupid. Oh, he was dumb. You know what I'm saying? These African cops, you know what I'm saying, that's doing it. But the European cop, oh, you know, they took it out of context. They don't understand what it's like. You keep them, you see what how the narratives is. He's on people out there with their phones, the body cams you're wearing, like everybody sees it's going down. No, there was no narrative that he was, you know, stupid for what he did, you know, by his own. But you can tell, I can almost hear, my ears are burning, that there's European cops all over the place, like those stupid bleep, those stupid N words. They messing it up for everybody. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna screen share a portion of my book, African Messiah versus Government Scum, which you can preview for free by clicking look inside when you go to the book. But I have to give y'all some of this. Now, in the book, African Messiah versus Government Scum, I do come at all the African officers who have failed to speak out against the violence their European brethren have committed against the African community. Well, I came for them. I came for them. I came for all the newscasters and supposed to be community leaders of the African community. I came for all of them. Like, if y'all doing more than just talking in this sensational moment, to what end? What movement began? Saying Black Lives Matter is different from being a part of a movement. To change Black lives. Saying Black Lives Matter, showing up for these rallies, is different than being part of a movement to change Black lives. Now, you know I don't use that word, but I'm using it so you guys can understand where I'm coming from. So on a night like tonight, here in Dallas, there's like this freeze. So everybody got to come home from work early. Well, I know I did. But on the safe side, stay at home probably tonight. The kids get out of school tomorrow. Like, it's a big deal here, right? To shut the town down due to weather concerns. So I expected all of you to really be, I expected to have 100 eyeballs over here. So what does Facebook do? Facebook says I'm restricted for 24 hours. And all I'm doing is just posting stuff about these killer cops. Now, we've heard about the social media blackout. They don't want us airing real content. So lucky for me, I have StreamYard. So those of you who don't see me live on Facebook can catch me over here on Instagram live. And also, okay, make sure my keyboard's working, on Instagram live as well. But I want to stop for a moment. My ruminations may not mean much to you guys, but I'm taking you somewhere. I'm taking you somewhere. Leadership isn't like in a vacuum, like you just don't just say it, leadership. I'm a leader, I lead, you know. It's not like that. It's something that you build up to. It's a position that you earn. And to be honest with you, I'm excited about the opportunity to lead the next major movement for African people on a global scale. The online coaching program that I have, the Calendly page that I have, these are just opportunities for you guys. The Muad'Dib Global website. These are opportunities you guys have to reach out to me and make a difference right now. You can go to the Muad'Dib Global page and you can listen to me, and you can jump in there, and you can put your bid in to become a member of the Citizens Justice League, right? You can click on some of the links and see what I got going on as far as my the tech invention I want to have to change the way we socialize with each other as far as safety is concerned. It's a security tech wearable. The conscious movement, the books, getting the books, buying the books, suggesting the books to your friends, reading the books, but supporting the movement, getting behind the platform. For those of you who don't want to be woke, who want to stay asleep, how is being a second-class citizen going to affect your children if you choose to have some, and their children? When they wake up and realize what the world is, how will they look at you if you didn't try to affect change? I don't need the sound effects tonight. If it's not going to come on, I'll try to put it on. If it's not going to come on tonight, I'll switch speakers when it's dying. But I love my sound effects. But how will being a second-class citizen affect the children you're trying to raise or you intend to raise? When they find out what the world is like and realize that you did nothing to try to change it. Because a parent's job is to protect their children. A parent's job is to lead their children and teach them the ways of the world and show them a better path. Now, they said my generation, Generation X, dropped the ball. They said that, we came up, we knew stuff was messed up. We were the first generation really to just not have no identity. We're not war babies, mostly peacetime, like no real family structure. The 80s, when all the African homes got split up and the government came in with their great programs and nipped it in the bud. And now, when the African community needs us most, what are we doing? Because if we don't have businesses and properties, if we're not ready and prepared, ammunition and weapons, if we're not prepared really to make a stand now, which generation will be in a position to do so? When's going to be the right time to stop allowing Europeans to treat us like animals? To have a separate way of dealing with us than with themselves, when we're all supposed to be citizens of the same great nation. When? I want to know. Get in the comment section. Let me know when's going to be a good time. Some of you forecasters and palm readers, let me know when's a good year. Because if it's 5 years off, I might fall back and let someone else put life on the line. Killer cops. Why are police pulling out their guns? All you Blue Lives Matter folks, y'all jump in here and help me out. Why do police officers pull out their guns? These heroes are pulling out guns on African women and children, shooting at their cars. These things are caught on tape. They're trying to enter African people's homes, just enter the home. Let me in. Why? I'm the police. Okay. I pay rent here, do you? No, we have a disturbance complaint. Well, no one here complained. Well, we have a complaint. Do you hear any disturbance, officer? Well, no. Well, someone told us. Okay. Well, since you don't hear a disturbance now, what they said may have been valid then, but since you don't hear a disturbance now, I suggest that you guys stop knocking on my door. I need to get some rest. I got to go to work in the morning. Well, you have to open up. Yeah, no, I don't. And this happens. This happens. African people are getting shot doing normal stuff. Hold on, not just shot. African people are getting murdered doing normal stuff that Europeans do all the time. And it just never dawns on them that the color of their skin saves them from being shot and killed while they're picking up their kids from daycare, bringing home groceries, whatever they're doing. Whatever they're doing. And I mean, when you look at Eric Gardner, got choked to death for selling loose cigarettes, and you look at all the Europeans that do these mass shootings, unless they turn the gun on themselves or on the police officers, they can just drop the gun. I just shot 81 people. I can just drop my gun, take me, and make it in. They take them in safe. Killer cops. You know, killer cops. Killer cops. I don't think Facebook liked me putting that out there, but it's appropriate now, isn't it, everybody? These cops are killers. Why are cops pulling their gun? Somebody tell me. Why are cops pulling their guns out on people? Somebody said Fruitvale Station. Fruitvale Station. All right. Cool. Man handcuffed, cop still shoots him. Still shoots him and kills him. Handcuffed, sitting down. Not a threat to anybody. You have to ask yourself, why are cops pulling their guns? He said he thought he grabbed for his taser. That was his official excuse. Why are they pulling their guns? I mean, if we can lock that down why they're pulling their guns in the first place, like, we could just say, you can't draw your weapon if the person's already handcuffed. That would save a lot of African lives. You can't draw your weapon until you've confirmed that they have a weapon. And that means that you have physical sight of the weapon, not something that looks like a weapon, but the weapon itself, or that you've been fired upon with the weapon from that person. And that's still saying a lot. I could roll through this program, roll all the way through it. Wouldn't make a difference, would it? Nah. Not if y'all don't want to wake up. I could talk all day till I'm blue in the face. But what I will say is this, as I continue to invite folks to the show. Live Your Truth is about telling it like it is. And I want y'all to tell it like it is, because this is historic. What's going on, yo? I want you to tell it like it is. Welcome to Live Your Truth. Tonight, we're discussing killer cops. I'm over here on YouTube. Please join. I'm going to do some screen sharing in a heartbeat. Make sure y'all tap in. All right. So you can do stuff like you can just Google stuff. right? And I'm gonna try to look it up by what I know of the situation. So I'm gonna try to just do some screen sharing, right? Of some stuff that I feel like was pretty crazy. I've seen some of the stuff. So I'm trying to get it together. But if you go and look at certain things, I'm trying to be as descriptive as I can. I don't know if it was actually. I thought it was in Arizona. I could be wrong. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I want to get it. Okay, yeah. This is it right here. Please, New Mexico. I want you guys to be mindful of this. It's kind of graphic, so please make sure you don't have kids watching, whatever. And I'm gonna do this screen share. I'm gonna go to my book, and then I'll jump out of here. I appreciate it, folks, for hopping in there. All right, I got a couple of people that wanna do that thing. All right. So let me go over here. I'm gonna get y'all right real quick, man, because I want you to understand. Killer cops, like we just talking about, like, why are cops pulling their guns? So I want y'all to think about tonight. We talk about, killer cops. Okay, why are cops pulling their guns on folks? Let me go here. Let me go to the screen share for y'all. Present this. I just want to kind of look at this. All right. All right, let's go. So thankful that my girlfriend is kind enough to set the computer up for me. So pinch out if I'm rushing, I don't forget to take it off of her Bluetooth earphones, so I'm not, inside of it. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't. Hopefully, she'll start helping me out with that, and I'll be able to.
Dash camera captures the encounter. But Farrell drives off instead. The officer pursues, pulls her over again. Emotions escalate.
Get out of the vehicle! Get out of the vehicle right now!
Farrell doesn't budge, but her 14-year-old son jumps out. He retreats when the officer pulls out his taser. Finally, she gets out. Then appears to ignore the officer and struggles to get back inside. Out comes her son again. This time, he scuffles with the officer. He runs back to the car. The family is locked inside. The officer smashes the window with his baton. As Farrell drives off again, another officer arrives and fires at least 3 shots at the van with the 5 children inside.
All right. Why do cops draw their firearm? Okay. A mom with her kids in the van, and a mom with her kids in the van. The cop wants to pull her over. He says, "You're already in trouble for evading me." Evading, mind you, a mom with her kids. Why are police officers pulling their guns? All right. Killer cops, y'all. This is how simple trap. And if you Europeans, y'all out there like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, too late. Too late to feel sorry for anybody, even yourself. So when I have this show about the European man and the African system, and everybody's like, I don't know, I'm not feeling that. Some folks like, it's just love. I'm like, look, until you Europeans really take care of this, because y'all can take care of that. We pay taxes just like you do. If you were just as appalled as we are when this happens, it'll stop happening. All right. Nothing is happening to police when they display this kind of behavior. African people, when we see, cops opening fire onto a van, a sister and her children, clearly not harming nobody. Not finna go. We're not investigating her for transporting drugs with the kids. None of that. Nothing. The man use the word evading. Evading was a reason to shoot into the car. Evading was a reason to bash the windows out of the car with the baton. What killer cops? Okay, so let's talk about the trauma of being African in America. The other 4 kids, let's leave the 14-year-old young man out. Son, you're making bad. Son, you're making bad decisions, mom. You weren't being a very good mom. But think about the cops. Think about the trauma the other 4 kids were going through. If it's 5 kids in the car, the rest of them had to be, let's say a 12 and under. These cops are subjecting. That was the best way they could deal with it. I mean, she clearly wasn't high-speed chasing. I mean, let's look at it again. It wasn't like they were following on a high-speed chase. They could just follow her, stop her, make it cool, de-escalate the situation, right?
After a 10-minute high-speed chase, Farrell finally
outside. The shooting happened last month after a traffic stop turned into a high-speed chase outside Santa Fe. Bill Whitaker looks at newly released video of the confrontation.
39-year-old mother of 5, Oriana Farrell, is pulled over for
71 in a 55. How many of you live in a state where 70 miles per hour is okay? She was going 70. She got pulled over. How many people believe you should get pulled over on any highway in the country for doing 71 miles an hour? Europeans, this is what it means to be, when you're driving while African, this is what we go through. This is what started it. Just so y'all know. Why do policemen pull their guns? Let's talk about these killer cops tonight, y'all.
For speeding by a New Mexico State police officer. The officer's dash camera captures the encounter.
I'll be right back. Go ahead and turn the vehicle off for me.
But Farrell drives off instead. The officer pursues and pulls her over again. Emotions escalate.
Get out of it. Get out of it.
So She wasn't high speed in that time. We watched her drive. Probably she was going to 55 miles an hour at that point. Maybe she thought he meant, okay, look, just go to speed limit. You're good. She could have gotten that taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? But what I do know is that the second time around, I know that he wasn't treating her. The guy says tensions escalate or emotions escalate. The cop escalates it by just pulling her door open. You know, he got upset because she didn't do what she said, but not doing what a police officer said should not be a death sentence. You know, I mean, unless they're saying put your gun down, stop pointing at me, I guess. But I'm saying, like, you know, why did he yank her door open? Why was he so upset? Where's the professionalism at? You know, we saw she wasn't driving very fast. He pulled her over again. What was he upset about? It could be irritating, but why are you all upset, right?
Vehicle. Get out of the vehicle right now.
Give him just a second.
I'm telling you right now.
Farrell doesn't budge.
So it's like, why are the cops attacking women in their vehicle just because they won't do what they say? You're not a professional enough. I mean, we're talking about you're willing to physically attack this woman because she was going 71 in a 55. I just want everybody, you know, we have cops on, you know, getting ready to be put on trial for something totally different, right? The situation may seem totally different, but we're talking about, like I said, in my book, and y'all have to get the book African Messiah. We're going to go into the book in a second, but I was trying to let y'all know you can predict these things to happen. That these things will happen when you look at the climate of race, of cultural relations between American law enforcement and African citizens. So, I mean, the person, like, let's say you're in a Walmart. The manager of Walmart has the authority in that store, but they're not supposed to grab somebody just because they keep walking with a pack of meat out the store without paying for it. They're on camera. They're going to drive away on camera with their license plate. Why do I have to need to go through all that? Oh, you're not going to stop? Okay, have a good day. The police will be at your house. You know what I'm saying? For that pack of meat. I mean, that manager doesn't have the automatic right to tackle the person for a package of meat. 3 pounds, 5 pounds, 9 pounds. Police officers don't have the right to physically accost people just for simply not following their wishes or orders or commands. It's not what we pay you for, bro. It's not. Forgive me for saying it. This is tough to watch again, people. So, you know, make sure it's not kids present. Make sure it's a mature audience only.
But her 14-year-old son jumps out. He retreats when the officer throws out his taser.
So as soon as the young man comes around, like, look, take your hands off my mom, he pulls his taser out. So he's ready to inflict bodily harm because the van was going 71 in a 55. On not just the only adult in the car, but on a child attempting to defend the adult. Look at this, all you Europeans out there talking this Blue Lives Matter stuff. Look at why is the cop pulling their gun?
You're already facing evading charges right now. You ran away from me, okay?
Finally, she gets out.
Turn around and face your vehicle.
Then appears to ignore the officer and struggles to get back inside. Out comes her son again. This time, he scuffles with the officer. He runs back to the car. The family is locked inside. The officer smashes the window with his baton.
The officer smashes the window with his baton. I can't make this stuff up. There's at least 4 young children in the car. He knows this. He's opened the door. He's looked in there. He sees them. He's comfortable smashing the window of the car out. Dash cam on the police vehicle going. That's what I'm saying. Y'all can say that these African officers that killed this man over a extramarital affair. Y'all can, they have to know that there's cameras. They're so stupid. What's going on here? What's the narrative about this right here? The mom should have just did what she was told. The young man shouldn't have got out the car. She should have never drove off. That's because you Europeans don't see these cops as scary as they will. This is who we know them to be. This is why she just didn't want to deal with them on a wide open road in the middle of nowhere. No one's around to see what happens. You think officers aren't pulling women out of cars, especially African women, and sexually assaulting them or abusing them or killing them? I mean, all those, and she's alone with her kids. Come on, man. If she's making decisions to not want to do what the cop is telling her to do, it's because he's not coming across with that legit aroma, with that professionalism. There's no way you can make me believe that maybe she didn't even understand English. We don't even know, just because she has skin like mine, she might not even understand what the man was saying. That hasn't even been confirmed. We listen to the newscaster. We hear him yelling. We didn't hear a word she said. What if she couldn't understand the language? Is anybody even thinking about that? She's like, why is this cop bothering me? Look how far he goes. This is crazy.
As Farrell drives off again,
the car drives off. He sees the other officer pull the gun, so he gets out the way. He doesn't run. This is what I'm talking about. Where the cop heroes at? He doesn't run to stop him like, no, it's not that serious. He's shooting into where the kids are. He doesn't jump over there and say, no, there's kids in the back. Don't shoot into the car. Where the hero cops at? Let's rewind it a little bit, right? The other cops pull up.
Smashes the window with his baton.
Now you see another cop right there. Where are the hero cops at?
As Farrell drives off again, the car. The family is locked inside. The officer smashed.
Okay, there's 2 cops right there. Why is this cop not playing the hero? Like, man, calm down. There's kids in the car. She's not going anywhere. She's chilling. Let's just chill. You know what I'm saying? Where's the hero cop at? When does the hero cop jump in?
Smashes the window with his baton. As Farrell drives off again, another officer.
This cop over here, he would have shot into the car too. Did y'all see this? He just couldn't draw his gun fast enough. As soon as one cop opens fire with kids in the car, as soon as one cop opens fire, the other one does.
He shots at the van with the 5 children. After 10-minute high-speed chase, finally stops. She and her son are arrested.
She and her son are arrested.
As Farrell drives off again,
I want y'all to see. Look, he over there getting ready to draw his gun. He just can't get the gun out the holster. He want to plug some shots in there too. Why are cops drawing their guns? Why, people? If you're going to jump in here and live your truth, I want you to join me and talk to me. Got apple juice and water in the house. Woo! getting my work on. Hey, look, I got some goals this year. I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna get right. I've been podcasting for a while now. Got the pulse of the people. Police officers, we don't want y'all just pulling y'all guns just because y'all get upset. We all get upset at our jobs. We and a lot of us have guns too. You're not special, bro. You're definitely not heroes. We see that. Okay. You should be, but you're not. And we know why. Zero accountability. Up until now, you weren't able to be held accountable. I got something for that coming. Yeah, we're going to hold you accountable. Y'all do stuff like that, like we just saw, because you're not holding yourselves accountable and nobody's holding you accountable. There's like some weird veil. No one's holding you accountable. You're doing what you're doing because no one's holding you accountable. For those of you just joining the show, don't come to my shows late. I just did a lot of screen sharing. New Mexico cops shooting into the back of a van. And I'm asking folks, why are police pulling their guns? All right. Let's go to a screen share. African Messiah. This is the book that you all need to get. If you haven't read this book and you don't have this book, it's I put it out there for y'all. I'm telling y'all right now, this is the blueprint to how we have a different America. All right. African Messiah versus Government Scum. You can simply click look inside. When you go here, if you want to preview the book, you can simply just tap look inside right here. It'll open up for you. And you can read into the book. All right. I want to come down a couple of pages real quick and get to the bottom of it. All right. So let's look at a couple of different components right here. I'm gonna make the screen bigger. All right. Make the screen a little bit bigger. Let's go. All right. Let's see. Making the screen bigger. Round it over. Bam. There we go. All right. So I told a story about a lady. Y'all might not know her. If you haven't listened to Wrongful Conviction on iHeartRadio, please listen to it. Let me break it down to y'all. This is how deep I've been putting it out there. Get the book African Messiah versus Government Scum for $6 for the price of 2 candy bars. I can completely wake y'all up. Get the paperback version. It should come overnight. But I predicted stuff like this. I predicted these African cops doing stuff like this. And you have to read the book. I'm going to go ahead and get the book because I thought it was a Kindle version. I could just screen share the whole thing, but I can't. I got to get the book myself. I don't know why. Or go back in there and make a Kindle version. I don't know how come I didn't get that done, but just this snippet right here. Check it out. Now listen. The genius of the podcast, Wrongful Conviction, unbeknownst to the producers of the show, is that it's giving the community a look at the raw brutality of a system immersed in and profiting handsomely from human indignity. It's a business model based purely on the bottom line, not public safety or justice. And this show does this for us from the mouths of those who have escaped. You'll hear from the slaves later on in this book, but who escaped, right? Wrongful convictions, serious injustices. Now, whether you listen to Julie describe her horrors or hear it from her attorney, Ron Safer, it'll sound like an escape from a slave plantation. That plantation these days is the too big to fail prison industrial complex, or PIC. Now, when you see these cops pulling their guns, you didn't know about the prison industrial complex. You didn't know that the cops are the gatekeepers to the whole justice system. If you're going to get justice, it's going to be because these cops treat you fairly with dignity and respect. If you're not going to get any justice, these cops are going to arrest you, beat you, falsely charge you with a whole bunch of stuff that you didn't do, and then you'll get wrongfully convicted, especially if you look like me, because most of the time you take a plea if you look like me. Safer, Julie's attorney, says that the judge in Julie's first trial wrongfully allowed bad evidence into the trial. How can you be a judge? How can you reach judge status and wrongfully allow bad evidence into trial? Just doesn't happen. The judge did it on purpose. That the prosecution ran roughshod over the rules of evidence and justice. So what he's saying is, in this European lady's case, the judge was in on it, the prosecution was in on it, and when you read my book series, I put in there the wrongful conviction. I'm gonna call what it is: the illegal conviction that they placed me under, and how illegal it was, and why it was illegal, and who was involved. It says the same things happened in my trial. It takes these types of heinous, this is me talking. The same thing happened in my trial. It takes these types of heinous maneuvers by honorable judges. They say the honorable judge so-and-so, and community and trusted district attorneys for the fix to work. Like I told everyone then, they all knew, and didn't care, right? But alarmingly enough, Julie was one of you. She was mainstream middle-class America, finishing her doctorate, studying martial arts, and raising her only child, a young boy, by herself. Now, what I'm saying to y'all is that cops wouldn't have treated Julie and her son like this, even if she pulled out 5 times. They wouldn't have bashed her window in, and they definitely wouldn't have shot into her vehicle as she pulled away. Wouldn't have happened. Guess what did happen to her, though? Let's go. All right. Julie, who had probably lived most of her life without much contact at all with the criminal element in her community, wound up arrested, tried, and convicted by criminals. The judges are dirty. The DAs are criminals. The cops, we see the cops commit criminal activity every day, and yet we still believe in the American judicial system. The show is coming soon, everybody, when I break down that the word judicial and the word justice, they're not even synonymous. It's a play on words. They've used it for years. I'm going to bust that. I'm going to debunk that theory in a hot minute. But she had never, Julie, because of her class and status and culture, she had never really even been around a bunch of criminals. But she wound up arrested, tried, and convicted by it. That's the joke on all of you. It's called the criminal justice system because criminals run it. It's their game plan. But if you take a moment to try to grasp this fact, to process that this is the reality of our criminal justice system, that the joke is on us, the little people, those who aren't a part of it, of the 1%. They named it our judicial system after themselves, the criminal justice system. If you're not a part of the 1%, the joke is on the little people because they named it. They named our judicial system after themselves. the criminal justice system, right? So try to imagine with me how she, Julie, must have felt once she realized they didn't care, right? I'm telling you right now. Hold on. Let's get to it. Where is it at, Julie? Man. Hold on. I got to find the actual sentence. Because I put it in there so cold. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. I scrolled past it pretty quickly. I didn't mean to do that. I'm just so excited that you guys are finally reading the book, even if I have to do it. Man. I want to do a good job of putting this out there to you. There it goes. Here it is. I had to go scroll up. I must have went past it in my zealousness. All right. Let's get this going properly. When I was reading it earlier, there's a part in here where I ask, what's the difference between the criminals that convicted Julie? Oh, okay, y'all don't know her story. Julia Ray Harper. The story is like this. When a broken woman meets our broken system, in a nutshell, it goes like this. A serial killer broke into her home, stabbed her son to death, and as the killer was attempting to exit the home, she tried to stop him, because she knows karate, but she was unsuccessful. When the police arrived, Julie was pegged as the initial investigators as the perpetrator and spent close to a decade behind bars before being acquitted by a jury in a retrial. Ron Safer, who helped Julie, when asked during a television interview, does it take $1 million to prove your innocence? What's going on, Lava? We over here getting deep, baby. Jump on in with me. Does it take $1 million to prove your innocence? Safer responded, if you have prosecutors who are unaccountable and unchecked, then yes. $1 million. Who has that to defend himself in court? I know I don't. But, yes, sir. What's going on, Lava? Join us over here, man. I'm gonna jump you in here. You got to jump in on this. We got plenty of time because ain't nobody going nowhere tomorrow in Dallas anyway. Because it's the snow is out there for some reason. It's keeping us all home. I'm gonna jump you in here, bro, because you a good dude. Let me jump you in here real quick. Got to jump in here with me because tonight we talking about killer cops. And I'm going in. I got all the stuff ready for them. I'm just trying to find one specific sentence. I'm gonna do it hard for y'all. Page break. I got page break in here to bring y'all in. Okay. They all knew and didn't care. Come on, Julie, hook me up. Alarmingly enough, was one of you. Make it plain. Became a victim of it. Got away clean. Be a part of you. Come on, let's go, Tyler. You can do it. You can do it. All right. This is what it comes down to. What's the sense in having a complicated justice system designed to offer the accused every possible avenue to prove their innocence if you take away the just part? If you don't have a just judge or a just prosecution, if you don't have just law enforcement investigators or a just defense attorney, once you firmly establish this sort of a judicial system and then remove the just from it all, you're left with a criminal enterprise, a come up. Julie, who had lived most of her life, ended up tried and convicted by criminals. All right, let's try to grasp this thing right here. She realized they didn't care. An American, she knew she had been played. Man. Okay, now here we go. And let me be clear, as a citizen of the United States, calling the question, when you face charges, uphold the law. What's the real reason I brought it up? There it is. There it is. Bam. Go Taibu. Bam. I wanted you, the reader, to ask yourself, or ask Julie, what's the difference, if any, between the criminal she fought in her home, the one who took her son's life, versus the criminals she fought in the courtroom, the ones that are seeking to take hers? So this is a unique situation. This how deep I get in my bookshop. I don't play no games. Think of what I'm saying here. A woman who was in the home when her only child was stabbed to death by a serial killer who probably didn't know she was in there too. Right? She wake up, hear the scuffle. She go in there, try to stop the man. She got the karate move, so he can't kill her. You know, she takes a couple stab wounds, but she's good. You know, she try to hold him, try to do what she can do, you know, protect her child, you know, mama bear. But I'm saying, like, that was one kind of criminal, right? He didn't even try to take her alive. He was there he murdered her son. I'm good. I got one, I'm good. Next, on to the next house. Serial killer. What was the difference between that individual who came to break the law and the criminals that were prosecuting her, who came to break the law? Right? What was the difference? Y'all tell me. I know I'm getting deep with this, but I'm saying I thought I had it in highlighted, but I didn't. What was the difference, if any, between the criminals she fought in her home and the one who took her son's life, versus the criminals she fought in the courtroom seeking to take hers? So they were trying to this is the prison industrial complex. One unlucky European lady got sucked up in it. That's how greedy you Europeans have to know this. For the most part, y'all outside of it, but not completely. Take Julie Ray Harper's story to boot, because that's how greedy this prison industrial complex is. They were going to take that woman's whole life, give her a life in prison, because it's money. It's a criminal enterprise. And I put it out in this lady's story. You can't tell me there's a difference between the judge allowed bad evidence. You can't become a judge if you're doing that, unless it's a what? Criminal enterprise. Why would they allow judges who know the difference between good and bad evidence to be in a position to let bad evidence in? A criminal enterprise. And let me tell y'all something that y'all don't know. In the courtroom, it's like a whole different language. It's like a whole different culture. Like the average person, I know, I went through it. I'm telling you, when I saw on the back burner what they had done in there, and it came to light. Y'all got to read the book series to see it. When it came to light in the courtroom, they know exactly when you don't know you're being screwed. They test the waters, people. The plea bargain is the first test. If you take that plea, they know you don't know what you're doing. It's your right to take it to trial. And even if you're found guilty, they can't use you stand on your right to take it to trial to give you all the maximum sentence. If you write a bad check and you say, hold on, that's not my signature. Yes, it is. That was you. But I didn't sign that, though. It was already signed. I'm taking it to trial. Okay, you get convicted anyway. They're not supposed to give you the max just because you take it to trial. They'll tell you that you're facing up to, but that's not legal. if even half the people that take plea bargains went to trial, it would bust the whole prison system open, because they don't have, it's just set up to get folks in it. It's not set up to try the folks for their crimes they're accused of. If every person in every county jail right now said, I'm going to trial, run it, set it up, they couldn't do it. They'd have to let people go based on, if everybody in jails right now said, I want a fast and speedy trial, I'm not doing nothing, we going to trial, we finna box it up. They couldn't do it. They'd have to let people out, no matter what their charge is, based off of them not having their constitutional right to a fast, speedy trial. They have to let them go. Half the jail can get out. If you have a loved one locked up right now, tell the whole jail to go to trial, but ask for a fast and speedy one. Half the jail, I mean, it's going to be a crapshoot who it is. I mean, they're going to get in who they want to get in. I'm saying, but still, how could this system stand? It's just meant to get them in there. Just like Julie, it was just meant to get her in there. So the judge lied, and the prosecution, he lied, and the cop, he lied. These killer cops, man. I put it in my book. If you don't get African Messiah versus government scum, you want to stay asleep. It costs $6 on Amazon. It'll come in 2 days if you have Prime. I got 2 other books leading up to that, but even on its own, it's mind-boggling. The only reason I'm still alive is because y'all not reading it. That's a good trade-off for me, because I know when y'all read it, 1,000 of y'all read it, they're gonna come lock me up like they did that dude that filmed Eric Gardner stuff. They're gonna lock me up for dropping a gun out of my car 2 blocks away from where I work at. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna find a reason to lock me up, y'all, for real. Get me behind there. They're gonna try to Khalid Browder me. I'm not throwing these names out there. Respect to the victims and their families. But I'm saying we have to keep this thing going. This man, Tyre Nichols, he did not die in vain. I think that this death right here, this useless, senseless cop killing situation right here, is going to show us as citizens we need the Citizens Justice League, because there's no justice in America for a lot of us. What's going on, T? Cop killers are killing the vibe. This, like, every time a cop killing happens, I hear Kendrick Lamar in my head. The cops are killing the vibe. The cops are killing what this country's about. Why would they do that? Why would the cops kill our vibe like that? I'm talking about, this is me in my car. Man, here go the police. Keep your hands at 10 and 2, people. Now, I got my phone and my IDs on the dash right there where they can see them. Please believe me. And I always use my European voice. Officer, how are you doing? Well, fully, what could be the problem? Don't laugh. That's real. Don't laugh. Use your European voice. I don't care how tough you think you are, how gangster you think you are. When that window's cracked, the window should be cracked this much. Don't have it halfway down, people. Don't be that stupid. The window should be cracked this much, just so that they can hit. Officer, what seems to be the problem? Really? My just the left one? That's strange. Okay, if you say so. You need my ID? You see it right there, officer. Can I reach for it? I can put the window down and let you reach for it. It's okay if I do it? Okay. I'm going to go real slow. You know what I'm saying? This is real, people. Killing our vibe. I was having a great day. You know, the cop sees me. I have a nice vehicle. They see my dark face. I'm probably got my sunglasses on. I'm doing my thing. I'm a drug dealer. Or I just came from beating my girlfriend up. I'm just saying, whatever the case may be. this is why are these cops pulling their guns, people? Why? Y'all help me out. The kids ain't got no school tomorrow. They ain't got to go to bed. I ain't got to shut my podcast down. I want one of y'all to be brave enough to leave a comment. Quit peeking at me. What's going on, fool? I'm going to let you jump here. Everybody comes on Instagram. I'm jumping y'all in here. I'm going to send you the link, fool. Jump in here on the live stream with me and get off in the studio. What? Oh, duh. My bad. Facebook shut me down for the night, y'all. Let me go ahead and get my man Lava. I ain't know my bad, Lava. I ain't know I was still on the joint. Here we go. Oh, yeah, I sent it to him. My man T.BY. Taj, you something else. That's a heck of an Instagram handle. There it is. I'm gonna send you the link, fam. Jump into the live studio with me. Let's go. I don't want to scan nothing. They be hating. So what I have to do is I have to remain strong. I'm telling y'all why. I'm asking y'all gotta tell me, why are cops pulling their guns? You know, are they really, is their lives really in danger? You know, that's what I want to know. If their life really ain't in danger, they shouldn't be pulling their gun. Every situation they pull their gun, their lives not in danger. So let's go. You already know what it is. Jump on in here, baby. Click the link, click the bold in. I'm going ham in here tonight. So we know what the story is. We know what's going on with my man. We know what it is. The police got pulled over. I mean, the police, we know what's going on with them. We know what's going on. We know what it looks like. I'm going to screen share it, but we already know what's going on. It's tough. Again, this is tough for everybody to look at. So please bear with me. It's a tough story, but we gotta cover it. All right. I wouldn't be a righteous podcast person if I wasn't on the verge of everything. All right. Tyree Nichols, a timeline investigation into his death. All right. Call to action to reform. All right. Let's get this thing going.
For national action on police reform, our senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott is on Capitol Hill with the latest on that. Good morning, Rachel.
And see, good. The bottom is going to be an uphill challenge. Sources tell me that members of the Congressional Black Caucus are in talks to meet with the president at the White House as early as the president is pushing Congress to pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. This would ban chokeholds, no-knock warrants. It would also make it easier to charge an offending officer. There was clear bipartisan momentum to get something done after the death of George Floyd, but those talks failed without a deal over a year ago. Republicans wanted legislation that was more narrow.
Man, you see what I'm saying? That's why I have to get the book, man. We need to have our own grassroots organization going strong, because the national government, man, can they double talk us? George Floyd, we're going to push legislations through. Man, and a year ago, the talks failed. So that means George Floyd happened. They covered it, and they just let it go out. And ain't nobody said nothing over a year. So now something else happens. And now we were being reminded that George Floyd's death really didn't lead to no lasting changes legally, even though that's what they said to us. Like, we're going to get this done. So now we're police reform push. I wonder how long this story is going to last. I wonder how long this story is going to last, everybody. And all I want to know from y'all is, why are police officers pulling their guns? Somebody tell me. I want to know. I think I'm doing a good job tonight, but I want y'all to tell me, why are police officers pulling their guns? I'm just going to, until somebody jumps in here, forget y'all, until somebody jumps in here and helps me narrate this thing. I'm just going to keep showing y'all situations y'all might not have known about. If you didn't know about these situations, now I want you to start knowing about them and ask yourself, why are cops pulling their guns? All right. All right. So I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the NBC News version of this situation right here. I'm going to let y'all know. Bam. I'm going to hook y'all up. If y'all didn't know about this stuff, I'm hooking you up right now. Taibu Muad'Dib right here. I want y'all in on the whole joint. While that's loading up to my email, let's listen to a little bit more. But y'all see what happened? George Floyd, that was a terrible situation. The Globe got involved, and then it stalled out in Congress. Congress? Who's Congress? The People's Congress or the 1%? Let's go.
In scope, and it's clear that lawmakers are divided once again. Republican Congressman Jim Jordan says that he does not believe that there's any federal law that can be put in place that would stop the quote evil that he saw from the officers in Memphis. Now, after the death of George Floyd, Memphis did make changes to its police department, including putting in place NWS to be done. They say that if Congress fails to act, they're writing quote another obituary.
This has to be this. I don't know what's going on with this. That thing just does all kind of stuff.
Sending prayers.
Now, who believes that?
But the NAACP says it's clear that more.
Hold on, what did she just say?
That he saw from the officers in Memphis.
Which one of y'all believe that?
Congressman Jim Jordan says that he does not believe that there's any federal law that can be put in place that would stop the quote evil that he saw from the.
Congressman Jim Jordan. Hey, come on. We have to do our fact checking. Let's look up Congressman Jim Jordan, shall we? Let me be the first one to do it. Y'all go on y'all phone, y'all tablet, y'all device. Not this one y'all watching on. Let's look up who Jim Jordan is. Congressman Jim Jordan. Because I don't even know who that is. But I'm finna find out right now. Congressman Jim Jordan. This is the congressman who says he doesn't believe any federal law can stop the evil that he saw. Boom. Need I mic drop that? No federal law? What if we make officer-involved murders hate crimes, like give them that kind of severity, automatic hate crime investigation? Like you can call it something different, but the federal law hate crimes that really help the LGBTQ community. It helped the Muslim community when they turned the hate crime law, like, man, we'll put you under the jail and start really enforcing it. That helped them. So Congressman Jim Jordan basically just said in the most of talking over our heads, let them kill themselves. Why y'all want us to do something about it? Let them kill themselves. Y'all just, until y'all read the books, you just don't know what these Europeans talking about. Let's hear her say it again. This is Congressman Jim Jordan's statement, and I'll dig a little deeper in a second. Let's listen to the man
Any
talk.
federal law that can be put in place. Once again, Republican Congressman Jim Jordan says that he does not believe any federal law that can be put in place would stop the evil that he saw from the officers in Memphis.
Do y'all remember any congressman that look like Jim Jordan calling the officers that choked Eric Gardner evil? The officer that shot Philando Castile evil? The one that killed Tamir Rice evil? No federal law that can stop it. I think it's time for us to form our own federal laws, people. I mean, either we can agree to disagree, but I think that there's a couple of federal laws that can stop that. Just there's zero accountability. Zero accountability. It's upsetting me. This nonsense is upsetting me. So we're gonna stop sharing that. That's upsetting me. I don't want to hear no more of that garbage. All right. Anybody agree with me? They don't want to hear any more of that garbage. Let's look into a situation. All right. Let's look into a different situation. Now, those of you who rock with Live Your Truth know I go all the way in. All right. I'm about to shame every law enforcement officer. Every law enforcement. I'm about to shame every one of them. All the law enforcement officers that had an opportunity to be a hero for some citizen, innocent citizen, life was taken by a fellow officer. There was an officer there that could have saved that life. I'm about to shame, after I put this out there, I'm about to shame all the standby officers. We'll call them standby officers that just stood by and looked the other way while one of our lives was taken. Just like we have these killer cops. But let me get over here and present this. Be my last screen share of the evening, people. Let's get this right here. Let's get it right. All right. Murder charges filed. Let's go.
Jason Meade shot and killed Casey Goodson Jr. It happened this Saturday marks 1 year since Franklin County Sheriff's Deputy Jason Meade shot and killed Casey Goodson Jr. It happened at the 23-year-old's family home in North Columbus. Early Thursday morning, the now retired sheriff's deputy surrendered after a grand jury returned an indictment, 2 murder charges, 1 count of reckless homicide.
363 days later, after your son was shot and killed, you learned of these charges. What are your thoughts?
It was worth it. To see the charges that came about. The days were torturous, but it was worth it.
The day of the shooting, investigators told reporters a U.S. Marshals task force went to the area in search of a suspect, not Goodson. However, they said Goodson drove past them and waved a gun. The coroner's report shows Meade shot Goodson 6 times, 5 in the back, once in his buttocks. It happened, as his family says, he returned from a dental appointment, walking through the door with Subway sandwiches. Tamala Payne's attorney says 9 family members were in the house at the time and saw the immediate aftermath of the shooting. Among those relatives, Goodson's grandmother, a 10, 5, 4, and 3-year-old.
They're traumatized. You know, my mother says that every time she closes her eyes, she sees the bullet holes in his back. My 5-year-old son says he can still hear the glass breaking in his ears. I mean, they're traumatized. They still see him laying on the floor. My daughter, who was there, still sees him laying on the floor. So, you know, they're traumatized for life. They're visuals that will never fade away. They'll always be there.
Payne says news of the charges against Meade is just one stop on her path toward justice.
I think we all know that Casey's special. Casey's making history. You know, Casey's going to be the change in Columbus. Casey's going to be the change across our nation. My baby is already making history.
So
We come on air tonight with major developments out of Memphis, where the fallout is growing in the Tyree Nichols case. The Memphis Fire Department has now fired 2 EMTs and a lieutenant, saying they violated numerous policies and protocols when they were called to the scene on January 7th after Nichols had been beaten and pepper sprayed. Those terminations were confirmed late today by the fire chief, who released a letter which says the EMTs failed to conduct an adequate patient assessment of Nichols. Also today, the Memphis Police Department revealed that in all 7 officers were relieved of duty on January 8th. The 5 officers who were charged in Nichols' death, plus 2 more who have not been charged. Protesters are taking to the streets again tonight, renewing calls for police reform and demanding justice for Tyree. This was Chicago just moments ago, where many gathered at Federal Plaza, making their voices heard. That follows the largely peaceful protest that took place over the weekend across the country from coast to coast: New York City, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Boston, and more. Right now.
So that means that the whole country, I'm telling y'all, when y'all go ahead, make it viral, African Messiah versus government scum, it's high time that you guys just knew the truth, that you guys just sat down and digested the truth about the country and the nation that you live in, right? It's not so much about it being divided anymore. I wouldn't be sitting here right now in front of you guys if Europeans weren't ready to embrace the African culture. There was one Latina chick on my trial, on my jury. The rest of them were Europeans. And even though the state put bad evidence in front of them, they still didn't convict me. That's how I know that there's hope for this. That's how I notice this has gotten so bad that the silent majority of us, of all cultures, have had enough of a government that is being run like a criminal enterprise. Because we're all victims of it, aren't we? All of us are victims. So, like, may he rest in power. Casey Goodman's mom said, you know, his passing should change things. A cop shooting a young man in the back. The lie. I mean, if he was waving a gun out the car, they had on body cams. You know, where is the video proof of that? Policemen and Europeans are still saying anything they want to say about an African person before they take their life. This year past, the Emmett Till movie came out. 14-year-old boy beaten to death by Europeans. Europeans making up all kind of excuses to be brutal and violent and murderers, and always pointing the finger at other cultures and saying they're the ones. Europeans, the government, Europeans going and buying drugs from Central America. But every time you see anything mentioned about drugs, it's my face or my brother Julio's face on the screen. From opium to crack cocaine and heroin, all that stuff, the Europeans flooding the whole world with these drugs and putting a face on the drug, dark skin. And so to you Europeans out there that are with it, man, if y'all not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And we know who you are. Like Christy said, she said there was a march in Madison, a Black Lives Matter march, and it was just 2 African people. The rest of them was Europeans. Like, where are they at? I had to straighten her out. Yeah, you Europeans aren't getting followed and made your life made to feel like it's in danger when you show up. You're just expressing your public civic duty, your First Amendment right. Right? When I put the founder of Young, Black, and Gifted on her, like, man, holler at her. She'll tell you how come we don't show up at these things publicly, because of what they do behind the scenes to us. But now, no longer are we going to be comfortable being uncomfortable. No longer are we going to sit back and cower and wait till you take our lives for whatever reason you so choose that day. What you saw tonight was the most horrible of the horrible and terrible of the terrible. This cop shot this young man in the back while he was carrying groceries into the house. I don't know anybody, not even in movies, that's running from a police officer after having committed a crime and gets shot and killed while carrying Subway sandwiches and using keys to get in the door. Just think about that. Why are police officers pulling their guns? It's Taibu Muad'Dib. This is Live Your Truth, man. It is the show that gets down. I'm gonna give y'all some more of that. I'm telling y'all, I got an idea for this song right here. When y'all hear it, y'all gonna love it. Right now, I'm just gonna give y'all the deal, the beat. That's gonna be my thing. Let's go. Turning down for the night. It's Taibu Muad'Dib. I posted what the rest of the shows are going to be about. I'm kind of glad that Facebook shut me down for tonight, because that just forces y'all over here to YouTube where y'all should be anyway. Vibe with me. Killer cops, man. Why are cops pulling their guns? Get the book African Messiah versus Government Scum by Taibu Muad'Dib on Amazon. Go to the author page. Get all 3 books. Get totally woke and do something fresh. Like, get down with this real movement. We're going to have justice. Then we're going to have peace. Unity of thought, unity of purpose will be ours, because leadership has returned. And that's the show. Set them off, 9:30.